Welcome, people of the World Wide Web. So yes, it's finally the time to end this series. So this is the last episode 53 of the collection in depth. So as I said last time, anybody who has arrived at this video, if you've been watching all of them, even if you've joined the series and you've enjoyed it, I do thank you very much. It is, say 15-20 minutes of video, 53 videos now is a lot of time and effort. I do appreciate you wanting to take an extra look into my collection. So this is why we're here. So let's get into it. So yes, it's this shelf and this shelf. So I sorted them all out a little bit so it is easier for me to pick them out. So I believe we finished up there with the Minion Tank Police and that. So next we have is Oh My Goddess. I believe this may be the second series. I think it's Oh My Goddess. Basically, I believe a young lad who kind of falls in love with an angel. Kind of imagine I Dream of Genie, but kind of anyway. So it's again a volume 1. Never really got around to watching it, unfortunately. So we have volume 2 here. I do have volume 1 downstairs. Obviously, since I bought this, tried to get into it, couldn't. This is on my 100 animes to watch. It's over 1,000 episodes. So obviously, if you would take Naruto's 720 there. This is going to be horrendous to get, but I'm hoping to get into once I've knocked a few of the smaller ones off. This is the big one, basically. So I am still trying to pick up volumes when I can find them cheapish. But there. So and then we have Origins, Spirit of the Past. So it's kind of a fantasy, a world movie. So it's been a long time again since I've seen this one. I thought it was all right. So then we go to Paprika. So I picked this up this year. This was on my list. This is really good. So this delves into technology, and this is kind of about almost an artificial intelligent dream personality called Paprika. This movie, I think 2006 or 2007. The idea for this inspired Christopher Nolan's Inception. So I would definitely recommend, if you like Inception, to come and revisit this. It's very colourful and beautiful, and the story is very intriguing. So me and my wife, obviously, as you may know, channel are big Penguin fans. So we got this Penguin Highway. Unfortunately, it is a little bit lackluster. So it is a set of kids who go, who are having this adventure, and then at certain times, objects are turning into penguins and stuff like this. It's very fantasy. I just think the story was a little bit lacking in my eyes, but the animation is very beautiful. Then we have Psychic Wars. So again, another movie. So this is where obviously you have good guys versus kind of the alien creatures, and they're trying to fend them off. Enjoyed it back in the day. Right, then we have Raman. So this was quite a popular old anime that used to be around. So it is about a young protagonist. When he gets, I believe, in cold water, he turns to a boy, and when it's hot water, it's a girl, and he kind of switches between that. This is the movie 1. Saw it back in the day. Again, been a long time. And then we have Rayearth. Young girls with, I think, superpowers fighting, again, aliens type thing. As you can see, sometimes kind of use the same sort of concept, but revolve it. And then we have Relinquium for the Darkness. So this is volume 1, I believe. Yes, it is. And obviously, there's the first few episodes. I've not seen it. Again, it's kind of fantasy, samurai-esque. Then we have Witch Hunter Robin. I have watched this back in the day. Again, it's kind of the priesthood and their kind of factions fighting against demons. It's the first few episodes. I thought it was all right. It didn't necessarily pull me 100% in. Then we have Robotech Macross 1. So this was a very old anime about a fighter pilot who was in a plane, but it kind of half transforms into a robot. I believe Jetfire from the Transformers, the original toy, is based from this mold. Then it's not necessarily anime, but it is kind of a little bit styled. So this is Ruby seasons 1 to 3. So this is by Rooster Teeth. it's got influences and there's crossovers and stuff, so that's why I have it in there. I did watch the first 4 seasons, and I bought this around about the time AJ got his, because it kind of I wanted to revisit it, but I've never got round to sitting down at this time. Then we have Samurai 7. So this is a new version of Seven Samurai, the very 1950s classic movie. It has a lot of elements there, but they kind of put a futuristic twist on it. And to me, sometimes stuff is a little bit lost. Enjoyable. I struggled a little bit at times, I must admit. Then we have another series I bought the full lot, but I've never watched it, is Sayuka Reloaded. So here we have volume 1. I believe it's kind of creatures and that, or humans, but kind of sort of humans, basically fighting demons and stuff. I think I may have watched the first few episodes. So obviously they did 7 volumes, which works out, I think, about 24 episodes if there's 4 on each. And obviously each one has a main character. So I never got through it again. You find with picking up these volumes that it takes you so long that by the time you have like the first 3, I mean, it was handed at 25p. You couldn't go wrong there. But yeah, waiting and trying to find a lot of these without the prices on means they came from online, so I had to source them and keep waiting and waiting. A bit like Get Backers. Get Backers took me so long. I think it'd been about 2 years since I'd watched it when I finally had it all. So then we have another series. This is one of the foreign packs to get. So it's Skryed, so S-K-R-Y-E-D. So this is about kind of a young lad. He lives in the wastelands, but he has this gauntlet that his magical power. And then you have this kind of posh lad who has this little robot. It very much reminds you of kind of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Seto Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh! Itself. But it's them kind of fighting against each other. The whole series is on here, 26 episodes. I enjoyed it back in the day. Then we have Sengoku Basara, Samurai Kings. So this is I don't know if they made the games before or after this. I think it's, there you go, based on a world created by the Masters of Capcom. So it's a Capcom game. Basically, you have different factions of samurai and they fight each other. This is what it's about, and you kind of have generals and their lieutenants and they fight each other. So that is season 1, and then they did do a season 2 with a new boss. And then to kind of finish it up, they did do a movie. If you like the games and you kind of like the samurai thing, then I would say enjoy it. So then we have She, the Ultimate Weapon. So this is something I bought ages ago. I've watched the first volume. So it's basically this girl is found. She is part mechanical robot, and basically they try to look after her, not realise she's actually part of a military weapon. There were 3 volumes. I only recently got 2. So this is the one I picked up. So I've never gone past volume 1. And then we have volume 3 there. I said that 50, very cheap when I used to do stuff for 50p. But then we have Sin. Cannot remember this. I say it is a bit broken on top. I do need to buy some more cases to fix that. As I say, I cannot recall this. So it's the movie. Your guess is as good as mine at this time. Then we have Sky Blue. So this is a very this is the world where anime became kind of CG related. They set it in a futuristic time, kind of a desert, and it's this young lad. I think he teams up with a woman, and it's trying to figure something out, and I can't remember what it is. Then we have the complete season of Soul Eater. So this is basically about a set of kids. They go to this school that is run by Death. The kids are paired up. So you have the main protagonist here, this girl. She has soul. So this guy's soul, and he basically turns into a weapon, which is his scythe. And that's how they work. The kids pair up and they have weapons. So this is Black Star. And then obviously his partner that then turns into like a big shuriken, I think, is a weapon. Then we have Kid Death. So there he is, and he has 2 girls that turn into guns. And basically it's them trapping demons and stuff and escaped souls. And then for very good designs and interesting characters throughout all of this, I'd definitely recommend. Obviously the artist of this then went on to produce the series firefight about a firefighting team, and this is linked in. Then we have the really nicely animated. Again, this is kind of the early 2000s where they brought in a lot more of CG. And it's Steam Boy, so basically a young lad creates a jet engine that he flies on. Very much kind of reminiscent of the Rocketeer. But I enjoyed it. It's a nice story. Then we have Street Fighter 2, based obviously from characters from the computer game. A great animated film from back in the day. Very, if you love Street Fighter, this is right up your street. A little bit of nudity, I will warn you, that's why it's a 15. A bit of blood and violence, but yeah. Then you have Street Fighter Alpha, basically where you have the introduction of later characters like Akuma there. So we get to this section. So this is basically where we are with Studio Ghibli's. So as you can see, they have numbers at the top. So you have these two, which are kind of done before he did anything or were from the studio itself. So this is the Castle of Cagliostro. I think it has another name, and I can't remember the character's name. Lupin, yeah. So the popular Lupin, the third animated TV series. So he obviously got turned into a Netflix series. I will move these across here just for the time being. And then obviously the company did kind of do the Little North Horse. Right, and then we started off with Nausicaa. So this was great. So this is Hayao Miyazaki's first ever movie. He had this idea, but for anime and the studio, they wouldn't produce something unless it had like a comic book or that to it. So he actually did a manga for it to get the movie made. And basically he has a lot of environmental themes and flying and stuff like this, and it's a great film there. Then he followed it up on a broken case there. So The Cat Returns. So it's a magical cat, and a girl comes across him, and he kind of travels to it. I think Hugh Jackman is part of the voice list. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. They had Lee's quite good because they started to get in league with Disney and stuff. They have most of these have popular British, American people voicing the actors. Then Porco Rosso. So basically about a human that was turned into a pig, and he's like the best pilot out there, and it's him kind of helping out the local residents. Then we have Pom Poko. So this is raccoons, and they can change into human beings. It's kind of them and having their world destroyed and stuff. As I say, he's very environmental and stuff like that. He features. Then a bit more of a popular one, Kiki's Delivery Service. So a young witch leaves home, and she basically starts up a delivery service in the town she resides. Obviously has her little cat there, and it's kind of her making friends and being more of herself. Laputa Castle in the Sky. So two young kids finding a robot and obviously a castle, and it's their explorations into that. One that's classed as very popular, Howl's Moving Castle. So this is a young girl. She gets cursed and turned into an old woman, and then becomes the maid for Howl, who's here. And this is voiced by Christian Bale, and this is his Wandering Castle. And it is him basically trying to stop the bad guys and the young girl trying to fix the curse. Then we go to my favourite Studio Ghibli movie, Princess Mononoke. So a young girl raised by wolves out in kind of the forest ends up helping the young prince, who unfortunately gets infected by this plague that's infecting the countryside and that, and it's all about them kind of coming together. Then we have My Neighbor Totoro. So you imagine Totoro is the symbol for Studio Ghibli, so you'll probably have seen this quite everywhere. It is about a family moving into a quiet, quaint house, and the two young girls come across this character, Totoro, and all the little exploits they get up to. Then we go Grave at the Fireflies, one that's seen as a very sad. So you have a brother and sister, unfortunately in wartime, trying to survive without their parents and not, all the struggles that go with it. It is a very sad movie, and that's all I will say. Whispers of the Heart. A young girl says, you see the cat returns. It's the same sort of character. Again, meets up and takes her to a fantasy world. And then My Neighbor, the Yamadas. So a very different style of anime for this one. It's basically about a family and their interactions. So then we can follow it up with these. So then probably the most well-known Studio Ghibli movie, Spirited Away, winner of the Oscar. A young girl obviously goes on a holiday vacation with her family, then comes across a ancient ruins, and as she walks through it is transported to a mythological world, and it's her exploits there. Only Yesterday, so I believe a set of sisters, I think it is, or maybe it's a young girl and her kind of exploits, but kind of growing up and all the other stuff. Tales of Earthsea, obviously fantasy, again a young warrior. Basically he has a kind of mission to do, and it's all the exploits around that. Ocean Waves, I need to take that sticker off. I have seen all of these. Again, kind of the exploit of a young woman growing up and all the kind of trials and tribulations she goes through. And then we have Ponyo. Ponyo is essentially the Little Mermaid done in there. So she's a young water girl, and it's her coming to Earth and making friends. With a little bit more pizzazz. So that is 17. So we're almost finished Studio Ghibli. So Arietta. So have seen this. I don't know why the stickers on that. Need to take loads off as well. So Arietta is basically the borrowers. She is a young person with a family, and it is all about the introduction of, as you see, big people there. So you'll see that Studio Ghibli does use some common themes that are in there. From Up on Poppy Hill, this is again a couple of friends, if you would say that. They're in high school together and obviously trying to make the world a better place through war and stuff like this. And then the final one, The Wind Rises. So a young plane designer. Basically, he's designing planes for the military and stuff like that, and it's his journey of him going through that and his family and what he personally endures. Was classed as the final movie by Hayao Miyazaki, but I believe he has returned. So then we're on here, we have Submarine 707. So probably one AJ might like this if you didn't know. So it's all about submarine class. Again, bought volume 1, have never got round to watching it. Summer Wars, watched this a lot the end of last year. So basically it is a large family, and it is them kind of having festivities in the summer, and all the exploits that they get up to. So all these people, this is one big family and everything they go through. Then we have the special edition that I found of Sword Art Online Act 1. So this is Season 2. I do have Season 1 downstairs. So the first series saw the main protagonist get trapped inside a computer game. It was Swords and Sorcery. This second series ends up there's somebody in a different game that is killing people with guns. So the main protagonist goes undercover as a different personality in that game to try and figure out what's going on. Then we have Sword of the Stranger. I think this is on my list. Kind of a samurai, or a lone samurai of the Sengoku period. So you'll see these words come up quite often. And the trials and tribulations of he has a mission to do and what he goes through. Then we have Tenkon Kinkaret, if I've got that right. So yeah, this is basically two kind of young lads that live on their own in this neighbouring town. It's a lot of based on black and white. The two lads are very different, and it's all kind of their metaphorical going throughs in this, growing up in this back kind of down beaten neighbourhood. Then we have a very popular Cartoon Network series, so Tenchi Muyo. So this is a young lad where he meets a witch, and there she is, and it is the exploits that he gets up to. They have a cat that is a spaceship, and they travel through Earth. And there is a princess that he meets, and it's all their kind of exploits that they all live together in a house and what they get up to. So there is Tenchi in the middle. There's the witch, the young girl that helps out. So there is, I can't remember what the cat's name is. Then we have Tengen Topper Gurren Lagann. So again, a mecha. So this is a young lad. He works in the mining town under the earth, digging tunnels, and he finds this drill. This drill is a key to the head robot of this Gurren Lagann. This is that is his best friend that he leaves to go to the surface, and then it's their exploits of Lemtu and all the people they meet up with. Again, if you like mecha, so giant robots and stuff, this would definitely be up your thing. So then we have kind of a live action. So this is based off an anime. So this is Terraformers. So this is humans where they go to Mars because they've been chosen. They're all like kind of criminals or something like that, or they've got issues, and they're given these suits that give them superpowers, and they find that basically due to genetic gearing, these evil Martians basically go to kill them. Not a bad one, quite good animated. Tenju 28, again, it's another mecha one, kind of the design of Astro Boy. Here is the mecha. Never got round to watching it. Then we have another first volume, so the Adventure of Mini Goddess. And again, another one I still got round to watch. Apologies for that. Then we have the Animatrix. So I know a lot of people would see that. Again, it's another one if you want to get into the Matrix. Obviously, separate stories about the Matrix done by anime artists and production companies. Then we're cool. The Devil is a part-timer. Great. This is the first series. I do need to get to the second one. So you have basically the evil vampire lord in a town. He is being hunted by the angelic squad. He is almost defeated and retreats, but what he ends up doing is taking his disciples and going to the human world. And obviously in the human world, he doesn't really have much power or magic, so he ends up having to get a part-time job, and it's all the exploits that go with that and how he kind of becomes evil to good. The Boy the Beast, so this was recommended by Always Keep On Walking. Apologies if I've got that wrong. This is a very good animated movie. So it's a young lad. He ends up going to a different world and then being trained by this head kind of samurai. And basically it's him and a rival, and the best one of them will be kind of the new master, that's the current master there in the background. A very, very beautiful, very nice, touching story. Then we have the girl who could leap through time. So exactly that, a girl who ends up being able to time travel and all the exploits that go with that. And then they did a live action version, so I bought that. It's not too bad. I prefer the anime personally. Then we have Slayers. Again, it's another series. I think I watched the first episode, struggled to get into it, but I say it's quite hard, so I always like to keep anime. Tokyo Godfathers, a great movie. So this is where a kid is found on Christmas Eve out in the snow by three kind of peasants. A homeless man, a homeless woman, and I would say, transitioning person, and it's the three of them looking after this kid, trying to get it back to its rightful owner. Then we have Trigun, the 60 million double dollar man, or this is Vash the Stampede as it can be known. So this is about a kind of alien. You don't realise he's an alien to the end, or from space. Him and his brother, and it's him in kind of a Wild West and his exploits. So I got volume 2. I think there's 8 volumes altogether. 3, 4, and 5. So I haven't finished that. That's why I can't. I have watched it, but I haven't got it all. There is a newer series as well. We're only 12 episodes of Crunchyroll, so I can recommend that. Right, then we have Urotsuka Doji, Legend of the Fiend. This is 18. I will say this is only for adult ones. It is very perverse and very sexualized. And it was one of the cheapest ones I could find back in the day. Only You, never seen it. It's a movie from a series, and obviously there was a movie 3 as well. Again, picked these up cheap. So this is quite good. Utawara Human, I think it is, Master of a Stranger. So basically is a man in kind of Japanese time. It turns up he has no memory, and he basically becomes kind of a defender of the little man against kind of the Republic Order thing there. It's actually all linked, obviously 6 volumes. I have them all, so from characters. I quite enjoyed this back in the time, and it is essentially this person with no memory who kind of, helps the little man, and then slowly starts to find out why he doesn't have any memory and what he was before that. Apologies if I butchered the pronunciation of this. Then we have Vampire Princess. So obviously 5 episodes from the series, but I don't have any of the earlier ones, so I've never got around to watching it. Then we have Vexil. So this is anime from Appleseed. Obviously, again, futuristic robots and stuff like that. It's more or less fully CG, I believe, and because of that, it was that transition, and I've never really got into it, but again, kept it in the collection. Then we have Virus Buster Surge. So this is kind of a police team who are, I think it's a police team, and they're fighting against evil aliens or something, or cybernetics. There we go. My bad. Ugh. Almost finished, people. So here we are, Weathering with You, a great movie. Again, young kids kind of coming together and understanding about the weather, and the effect that this kind of event has on the two of them and their lives. Then we have X. So X is about a human team that try to stop these kind of religious nuts. Each one of them can cast a spell, and it kind of takes a part of Japan or Tokyo into another dimension, and they're basically trying to stop these, I think, like 6 evil dragons they're called. You're Under Arrest, the complete OVA. Again, another police kind of drama of a small team. One of my favourite movies of all time, Your Name. So you have these 2 main characters at random times. They swap places for a day or 2, and then when they wake up, they are back in their own bodies, but they've struggled to remember what has happened. And it's the 2 connections that these have, an absolute great kind of love story, so to speak. Then we have Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie. So I did pick up the series the other day, but it's not in here because it's downstairs. So this is the first movie. Then obviously they did Bonds Beyond Time, so they're bringing in some of the newer characters. Then you had the last one, so the Dark Side of Dimensions, where you had Seto Kaiba, kind of a return to form, and I think his younger brother is possessed in it. And then final one, as you will see, this is the Zone of Enders. So based on a game that I really used to like on the PlayStation back in the day, kind of space, you fly through space in this robot defeating bad guys. Then you will see back in the day I did have some copies of Godana, and obviously Sailor Moon that I was gifted. And that is everything. The Kaplecon collection is done. And there we go, that is it. So thanks again for watching the series. Hopefully you've enjoyed looking into my collection and more in depth. Obviously you've realised how many titles and stuff I actually have. I say I've enjoyed all the comments and little mentions here and there and stuff that I've seen or haven't seen, hopefully, I don't know, say give it 5 years or so, maybe if I get a lot more and upgrade and something like that, I will do another updated collection. But yeah, there won't be anything anytime soon. Obviously we will switch to a new series next week, and then obviously in between we will have discussing the brand episodes thrown in here and there when I get round to it. I've been Cypher Sigma Screen Time. This has been a collection in depth. Hope you've enjoyed this series. I appreciate you all for watching, and I shall see you in the next one.